Good morning, everybody, and thank you for joining us for another conversation. We're excited today to talk to Carolyn Welsh, the new CEO at New Jersey Sharing Network. Carolyn, thank you for joining us today.
Excited to be here with you.
Thanks. For those of you who don't know, I had an opportunity to visit with Carolyn and her team not long ago, so I'm excited to follow that up and have this conversation today, so everybody can get to know you a little better. As we start, Carolyn, can you talk about your experience and your background and bring folks up to speed on how you got to where you are today?
Sure. I started at the Sharing Network 24 years ago. No direct connection to donation. So coming out of Seton Hall, I was born, raised, and went to college in New Jersey. Go Pirates. And it just so happens that we're this color blue, so my favorite. Really came out of Seton Hall, and I guess really goals for my life was just to help others. That's really, I didn't know much more, just wanted to help people. I love people. I'm an extreme extrovert, very social, outgoing. So it really just led to what was it going to be about people. I worked in the psychiatric field for 3 years out of college in a case management role. Then went into United Healthcare for the Medicare division for 3.5 years, and very much loved the relationship-based job. And when the COPs came out in 1998, Sharing Network created the hospital, what everyone else calls hospital development. We call it hospital services. And that was my first role, and group of hospitals creating policies, procedures, learning the regs in and out, learning brain death, and learning the clinical picture kind of helped to, I think, take us on the pathway of where we are today. And never looked back, never turned back on it, and just said it really met all the things and fulfilled what I was looking for, to help people make the world a better place and continue to strive and reach for higher things.
Yeah, that's great. And congratulations on the new role. I know you've been with New Jersey for quite a while, but been in this role. I think you were mentioning before we came on, you just passed your 100 days.
Yes.
So congratulations.
Celebration. Yes, January 1st, officially. Really transitioning with Joe over the last 12 to 18 months, but officially January 1st.
Yeah, well, congratulations on reaching that mark. Now that you've had a little bit of time, can you describe your leadership style
Sure.
that drives you?
Sure. And thinking about that a little bit, not the traditional terms I would use. Sport's been a part of my life since birth, my entire family, many all the way up to major league. But coach, that's the best way I could say it. And I think it's so relevant in organ procurement organizations, the coaching, the components. There's so many multi-components to coaching. And building the team, right, is first, right? You have to recruit, you have to bring talent. I don't want people circled around me that are the same. I want them to think differently. I want them to be able to push me, challenge me. So building the team is first, and that's a coach's job, right? Bring the talent, bring the resources, bring the skills, bring different. But a coach has to be willing to make the difficult decisions when you have to have them, and you have to provide feedback and motivation. So all of those things that go into team is probably the best word I could say about my leadership style. I think the trust on a team, right, and your performance in organ procurement. It's, to me, I always say, so no offense to any tennis players, but I use this a lot. Donation is not a single individual sport. It's not singles tennis, right? I like tennis. I could watch it, but it is a team sport, and the failures and successes of life and death are not one person. So that's really how I would answer that the best.
Yeah, I think that's a great description, and I think you're right. It's such an interconnected and collaborative process that there's so many people involved, and so you do have to work as a team. And speaking of teams, does New Jersey Sharing Network have a motto, a spoken or unspoken, that drives you and the team?
Yes, we do. We have a tagline under our, saving lives, organ and tissue donation, but we say to honor, to remember, and to give hope. And it's really the circle of life, not just donation, not just transplants. So to honor is to really honor the recipients that have given a second chance, been given a second chance at life, to remember the donor heroes that have passed away and given the greatest gift, and to honor, to remember, to give hope, and we give hope to those that are waiting. And that's what we get up every day for, to work. I think that's the part that everyone, collectively can understand, right? Our job is to save people's lives. What most don't know is that our job saving people's lives is also the donor families. And what we bring to a family, death happens to all of us. And once you're with a family, speaking to them in person or over the phone and for tissue donation, the light that we bring, in a dark time is just incredible. And I think that that's evolved over the years. Yes, it's about saving people's lives, but we also change the world by bringing something to tragedy and darkness and death.
That's great. And that's a great way to think about it. And that's great to help motivate the team. But speaking of motivation, you obviously, you talked about team, you talked about coaching. How do you motivate your team to continually improve and overcome the challenges we face?
Yeah, I think it's a constant motivation. It's not one thing at one time. It's every day. So the day-to-day motivation, I think, leading by example, bringing the positive when it could be negative, and kind of flipping that energy. It just so happens yesterday we had a leadership meeting with all of the leaders in the organization, and we do come up with thematic goals and a rally cry. And we talked about the one thing that if you focus on this one thing over the next 90 days, what is it going to be? And the reason we're so successful right now, we all collectively put together, is our people. The people that we have right now working at the Sharing Network has never been better. It's the best group of people that I would put up against anyone. And they came together. And because we were saying the people, so we always do a little tagline, a little fun around it. So our next rally cry is love what you do and the team around you. And everything that we will do in the next 90 days is motivating that. And it's motivating the person who has had a rough case. It's motivating the person that has something going on in their personal life. It's, you can love what you do. You love the mission. No one does this work if you don't stay in it. You may start it, but you don't stay in it. And love what you do, but the team around you, really picking each other up, right? Someone strikes out, you gotta, I'm going in, right? Don't let them keep, you have a bad case, you have a hard case, you have a hard family. Don't put that person out there again. Look out for each other. And it's the support groups too. The clinical teams, I have been leading those teams for the last 10 years. And this change and transition has really brought the team together as a whole organization. So the overarching kind of motto and motivation right now is one mission, one vision, one team. And that is we have a lab, we have a 24-hour histocompatibility lab, we have a foundation, and bringing all the parts together to decide together what are our goals, what are we each doing. And as we set goals and talk about what we're looking at, it has to always go back to the end results. And that's what we're bringing the group together. So motivation and fun things along with the hard and heavy work that we do is super important to want, for people to stay. And I think that's really what we're focused on.
That's great. And you touched on goals. So what are your goals for the next year, next several years at this Sharing Network?
Yeah. So part of those rally cries we've evolved over the years. A couple of years ago, we really talked about the journey to 200. We were really reaching to get 200 organ donors, and we successfully did that. Following year, we set and said we're going to do 220 organ donors, 220 in 2020, and we did. At that point, we set our goal to be, hit 300 in 3 years. Well, I believe that we're going to hit that prior to our 3-year mark. So right now, the team is focused. We had 670 organs transplanted last year. Our goal this year is to hit 700. And what we focus on, we created a few years back, donation needs diversity hashtag. Many of the people that would ever watch this would be, know what that is. And we've welcomed anyone who wanted to use it, and hashtag donation needs diversity is really getting out into the communities to make sure that we're answering questions. And we live in New Jersey. It's a very diverse place. And with that brings a lot of challenges. And what we do is say, we're going to be out there. We're going to be out there as much as we can. We're going to bring this message to everyone and anyone who will listen. So our goals really continue to be donation needs diversity, and we're set for 700 organs. And I believe I shouldn't, say it out loud, but I'm going to say it out loud because I'm competitive. So we're going to keep reaching that goal. So we should be hitting 700 organs transplanted this year, which is incredible. Coming off the pandemic, we were, much lower than that. And with the team in place right now, we're not at our peak yet. So we're going to continue to keep reaching higher heights.
No, those are great goals, and I look forward to you guys hitting them this year. And then obviously what's going to be next after that. So as I know, you're competitive, so you're always going to be motivating.
Right? Mostly against myself, right? That's really what I would say.
Before we wrap up, is there anything else you'd like to share with your OPO colleagues before we close?
Yeah, I did. I thought about that a lot, and taking it really will stick to the theme, right? In sports, you talk about who were your mentors, who were people that had impact on you. And for me, when I really go back, it's mostly coaches. And you thought they were annoying at times and thought that they brought you things like, what was the point? And I reflected back, and I think for us right now as an industry, it really holds true. So I will look down and read, because I can't remember the whole caption, but I would encourage anyone to look up a poem that's called "Don't Quit." And the last part, there's 3 phrases. It's great. But the last one is: success is failure turned inside out, the silver tint of clouds of doubt. And you never can tell how close you are. It may be near when it seems so far. So stick to the fight when your hardest hit. It's when you think things are worse that you mustn't quit. And I think where we are today is basically, fitting for what that is. And we're not going to quit. I know the colleagues and who I've met along the way and continue to look up to, and mentors in the industry, that they're not quitters. And we're going to continue to do the life-saving mission that we all committed to do, regardless of the distractions from others. And another book I love, I just had it in front of me. I Can't Accept Not Trying. It's a Michael Jordan book. So that other piece to everyone too, I guess, to share is it's fear is an illusion. And part of this book is very short. So if you're not a big time reader, it's one I would highly recommend. And he really talks about the necessity of teamwork, the essence of leadership, and the importance of focus and discipline, and the need to fight distraction. So I think that's where we are. I also, just with anyone out there that would like to chat or get to know each other, and there's new people to the industry, and offer support and connection. And people have done that for me. I want to thank those that have really put out a hand to me. I overwhelmingly inspired, and just the connection and the help and outreach that others have given to me in the last 100 days, emails, calls, conversations, and just want to say thank you. And thank you to you for coming visit us in March, and seeing that great teamwork. And it was really good, right? There wasn't that many people in the office, which means we're out there doing what we need to do. So I just want to thank those that have reached out to me, and I would offer that to anyone else that would need that from me as well.
That's great. That's great. We worried about collaboration within the community where we are on the new metrics. And I think it's great that folks reached out to you. We've seen a lot more. We've actually seen an expansion of collaboration. So yeah, I'm hopeful that your colleagues will take you up on that, especially since we have a lot of new colleagues coming in.
Yeah. And I think that what I think AOPO did with the impact committee is really successful. There's a lot of great talent on those phone calls. And it's just an amazing piece. I know we stick to what we have to do every day, but when we can take a little time out and really look at how we can help others, it really just brings us all up. And I think that's what we're trying to do. And I think it's working well. And the team that you have on those calls are just amazing. So.
Well, I want to thank you for that. And I want to thank you for your time on the impact. It's been an amazing process, but also for your time today. I know you've got a lot going on, so I appreciate you taking some time to spend with us. So
yeah, thank you.